Hello, and welcome to Jason Cavness Experience. Our guest today is Alex Shebar. Alex, thanks for being here today.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me.
So we're going to go into a lot today because you have a very interesting background, a lot of stuff going on. But first, you're here in Seattle specifically. You're from New York City, correct?
I am.
So you're in Seattle specifically because you're putting on a hackathon tomorrow, correct?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that real fast?
Yeah, of course.
Or I mean, not too fast, but, like go into some details and stuff.
I'm happy to. So I'm working with a company called Builderbase, who has partnered with Dell and NVIDIA to do a local Seattle hackathon. They're tapping into local talent to build something using Dell products and create something new with AI that theoretically will be great because AI obviously can have ups and downs. We can chat more about that later. But it's going to be a really fantastic project. It's at the Museum of Flight.
Just a bit closer to the microphone.
What? Come a little closer. I can. It's at the Museum of Flight, which is a great, obviously, local space. If you've never been there, it's very cool. And we're going to be building something tomorrow, Sunday, from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's free and open to everybody. So come down.
So, first of all, like, how did you get all these people to join for your hackathon, come from out of town? Like, how do you get the Museum of Flight? Museum of Flight is just a fucking spectacular location, right?
It's a great spot. Luckily, I don't actually have to do that. Builderbase has a really good connection here in Seattle. They're partnering with a bunch of local tech and creator groups. So they're the ones who are filling it with teams. I am just helping to promote it, which is what I do.
And so for the hackathon starter stuff, like some hackathons, they'll say, hey, come to your team already prepared. Others will say, you're going to join the hackathon and you're going to like be with people you don't know. There's so many rules. Like some will say, "Hey, you're gonna build this or other ones they build what you want."
Yeah.
Can you talk about some kind of rules?
Yeah. So it's both. Some teams are coming completely constructed, and some are just people are showing up and they will be put on a team. Dell is donating all the products to use, so there's some really beautiful hardware that are going to be there at the Museum of Flight. And I actually don't know the prompt. In fact, I don't believe the teams do either. I think that they are just told that it's going to be something to build with AI. So I think that they are coming in a little bit mysterious tomorrow.
And so the hackathon starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 10. I'm guessing you're going to have food there, drinks.
There'll be food, there'll be drinks.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely.
One thing I realized, like people who never did a hackathon, I mean, you can just learn so much, right? Like somebody coming and just get started out of hackathons. Right?
Yeah. I think anybody interested in building needs to do one of these because you are under so much pressure, under so much, time stress, but it's also that's when the creativity hits. Like you work with interesting people, you build things you never think you would do. Sometimes when you have unlimited time, you're almost paralyzed by choice. Yeah. And that's the joy of these things is you come in, you're like, I don't have unlimited time. I can't build something that's going to be perfect. It's probably going to be buggy, but it's going to be something that I'm going to build. At the end of it, I will have something. And that's really cool. You get to the end of a hackathon and you feel really accomplished.
I'm a good example of that. Like suppose I'm working for you, Alex, and you say, Jason, I need these 10 things done by Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out how to do those 10 things, right?
Yeah, Monday.
When you say, Jason, do one thing and it's not due until August 31st?
Oh, yeah.
August 31st, I'm knocking Alex at the door.
Yeah.
I need more time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that paralysis of choice is crazy. I have ADHD, which sometimes really helps me and sometimes really hurts me. But I'm working on, 14 projects at once. And because if you don't give me a deadline, I will continue to work on 14 projects at once.
And with this hackathon, I mean, some hackathons were just straight product build. Other ones were like your product build and you got to get customers. Is this one have to get customers?
No, this one's just product build.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just conceptual, something cool.
Okay, got to put extra pressure on people there.
Yep, just the creativity. Those are my favorite type. It's not you are building something for. I mean, it could go to market, but it doesn't have to. It's just like let's be creative. Let's do something cool.
And y'all have judges?
They will. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, be interesting turnout. Okay, but we're gonna go back and forth to attack on throughout the talk. I think it's pretty cool.
Sure.
So next, I want to talk about your time at Product Hunt, right? To me, like Product Hunt, I think it's a great thing. I think it's kind of fell off of the last few years. I mean, just my opinion, right? I mean, everyone used to go on Product Hunt, build products, like what's it called, the hunters, whatever, you know. And I don't know if the UX changed or something changed about it, right? But it makes me still when people say they don't know what product it is, right? Like you're building a product, how do you not know what this is? Because it's just like, of course, you like launch a product, it's like a full-out marketing effort. It's a full-time job.
Sure.
I get that, but man, just the exposure you get from it is like outstanding.
I mean, my background is in community. That's where I began. Well, actually, that's not true. We can talk about how I actually began in newspaper, which is, I think, an interesting story. But after newspaper, I moved into community. And so I'm a big fan of anything that connects people, in a human level. Like I'm launching this product. I'm so interested in it. I want people to be excited about it. There's a space where you can do that. You can show why people should get excited about it. And then the more people that do, the more people share it. That's a really cool place to be. Like, no matter what you're launching, it's always better to launch it with the support of other people. Like, it's just, if you live in a bubble, you're going to die in that bubble. And you need, constructive feedback. You need support. You need kudos. You need to feel good when you launch it. And the only way to do that is other people looking at it being like, this is worth my time, my money, my effort. And so that's why Product Hunt is great.
So why do some people like you, they're great at building communities? Other ones, for lack of a better term, kind of suck at building communities. Why do some people have that skill?
Because people are hard. People are exhausting. Everything in this life has a cost. And if it's not a financial cost, it's a mental cost. It's an energy cost. It's a time cost. And building community is all of those things. It literally taps you on every single level because you're trying to get people to get together. I will move wherever you need to be. You're trying to get people together. You're trying to get people to get together and be excited about something. And it can be anything. But to get them to be excited about something and then engage consistently is so much work. This is why community managers are so important. Because if you launch a community and you've nobody managing it, it will die. It will not grow anywhere. Communities do not live on their own. You need somebody to oversee, somebody to support, somebody to, gamify or again, like call out people who are doing a really good job. Communities live and die by the community managers overseeing it. And that person has to have a weird, wonderful skill set. That's communication, it's marketing, it's social media, it's event management. Like, it's a jack of all trades job that most people can't do because who has the skills for all those things?
So I'm guessing it's better to have a community of 10 people that are highly engaged versus a community of 1,000 people who barely do anything, right?
I think that's true for anything. I think if you have social media followers, it's better to have 10 engaged followers than 1,000 who don't care about you at all. I think if you are, launching products, it's better to have 10 people who are buying every single thing you do than 1,000 people who will never buy a single thing you do. Whatever you're doing across the world, I think a smaller engaged community is always going to be better than a larger unengaged community. Because the opposite of love, the opposite of love isn't hate. It's apathy. It's uncaring. It's people who do not care. That's what you don't want.
So what's UGC? What is that? I'm clueless on that one, to be honest.
Yeah, UGC stands for User Generated Content. It is the ads that you see on any social media platform right now. TikTok ads, Facebook ads, made by real people who are putting out. I mean, technically, user generated content is any piece of content that is made by a person rather than like a company or a brand or as an ad. But mostly when you say UGC, you mean in an ad form of I've made this for this brand and they're going to run ads on TikTok, Meta, whatever it happens to be. That is what UGC is. I run an agency that helps make the UGC.
So do you consider yourself a marketer, an influence, a cultural person, a community builder?
Yes.
All the above?
Sure.
Okay.
We can talk about why I started NYC Social Club, and I think that's an interesting story too. But the reason that I still do it after this many years is I really like creating things that people care about. Nobody cares about ads anymore. No one cares about ads. You look at YouTube, they have that skip button. The skip button is the weirdest experience in my life because they're literally YouTube is going, please watch for 5 seconds. And then you can watch what you actually want. And so they're making ads that are basically begging you to keep watching it. Who wants to do that? Like, YouTube ads are the single worst thing about YouTube. And everybody agrees to this. So why don't they change that? Why don't they actually make ads or do something that's a little more engaging or a little more interesting rather than just bombard you with, can I say bullshit on this podcast? Yeah. Bullshit. So when I try to make ads, I don't want to make an ad that bores you. I want it so if you have to watch this ad, you're like, oh, that was fun. That was interesting. We all watch ads on the Super Bowl and we're like, those are really cool because they actually spend time and effort creating things that they think people engage with. You can do that on a daily basis. You can actually make products for a brand that people care about and are interested in and are entertained by, but just like most people don't.
So you do ads, I'm guessing you go to what demographic ads going after, what market, all the fine details.
Oh, it's completely different for each. That I'll have a brand come to me and they'll be like, "Where should I advertise? I've got this product. Where do I advertise?" And my answer to them is always, "Where are your users? Where are your consumers?" Because if they're using Instagram, be on Instagram. If they're on YouTube, be on YouTube. If they're not, don't be on those platforms. I can't tell you how many brands have come to me and they're like, "Do I need a TikTok account?" And I'm like, "Well, do you think your people will use TikTok?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, then don't be on TikTok. Or try TikTok talk and see if they would, but don't like put all your money and effort into it if that's what your consumers aren't doing. You know, if you're a brand, you need to be running basically consumer studies. You need to be putting out surveys. You need to be talking to your users as people, not just as a dollar sign. Find out where they are. Like, what are they using? And then that's where you should be too. So many brands don't do this.
So for your company, like, obviously they have to pay you, right? But is there a certain like industry that you work best with, a certain revenue you work best with? Like, what's the best customer to come to you?
You know what? The joy of running your own business is you actually get to kind of choose these things. So, for instance, I love board games. I absolutely love board games. Look at me. It's shocking that I love board games. So we worked with a company called Renegade, who's an amazing board game company. And they launched, do you know the book series Dungeon Crawler Carl? Does this mean? Okay, perfect. So they, lots of people do. It's obviously very, very popular. They launched the first Dungeon Crawler Carl RPG system and card game. So they got the official rights to relaunch it. It's called Unstoppable. It's great. Really fun to actually check out. And so we pitched them as fans of Dungeon Crawler Carl, being like, we love board games. We love book series. Can we help you promote this thing? And they went, yeah, we'd love to, work with you. So they hired us. We ran a really fun campaign that targeted book talkers. So instead of your traditional, because what you think is you target board game people, board game influencers, board game communities. Board game communities already know about Dungeon Crawler Carl. They did not need to learn about this. We targeted book talkers and taught them what an RPG was. So they got to go to their community and be like, hey, if you want to live in the world of Dungeon Crawler Carl, there's no video game, there's no TV series yet. This is how you do it. Right now, you do it through an RPG, and this is what an RPG is. This game launched with $13 million. It's the most successful backer kit game launch that has ever been. I'm not taking full credit for that. Renegade, I'm absolutely not taking full credit for that. IP helped a lot, but our influencers helped a lot. And now a ton of board game companies have come to me and been like, can we work with you? And the answer is yes, I love board games. Let's continue to work with you. So the joy of doing this is I get to work with the companies that I love and passionate about. And I think that translates to great content, because if I'm not passionate about it, who cares?
I guess you're across the nation, right?
Oh, yeah. I know we're called NYC Social Club. We probably should just be called Social Club, but we are across the world, actually. We've done stuff in London and Spain and Germany.
So let me ask you this. Suppose someone comes to you, suppose they want you to like do ad for shot glasses, right?
Sure.
And they say our customers are in New York City and Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you'd have to do two different ads based on those two different locations? Without
a doubt. Okay. And you should. Okay. Hyper-local content. We'll find influencers in both of them. It depends on what they want to do. If they want to run events like the hackathon I'm running with Dell, we would find local people there as well. But yeah, you should run two different campaigns, because the people who live in Omaha, Nebraska are very different than the people, I know, shocking, who live in New York. And if you run something for everyone, you're running nothing for no one. If you try to target the whole world, you're just going to target nobody. Get specific, get hyper local. That's what every single social media platform is doing right now with their algorithms, is they're getting as specific and targeted as possible. Your ad should be exactly the same.
So let's say this same person, he wants to do shot glass ads, right? Mm-hmm. In Omaha, Nebraska. He wants to find influencers, right? How should he go about this? A lot of influencers will say, I have like 10,000 followers. We don't really have much engaged. They say this amount of money.
Yeah.
Can you really validate? Like, how should a small business owner go about finding influencers for their products?
It's a great question, because there are a lot of terrible influencers out there. Content creators are so important. Ad Age talks about the fact that when you spend $1 with influencers, you get $5 to $6 back. But you have to do it right. You have to spend it with the right people, or you're just throwing money in a hole. And I cannot tell you how many people I've seen throw money into holes. Like, so many brands. So whenever a brand comes to me and they ask, like, how do I find the right content creators or influencers to work with? Find the ones that you like. Like, if you're finding somebody and they've worked with products that are similar to yours, probably not like your exact competition, but at least similar, and the engagement is good, they're getting likes, they're getting comments, and the content is your style. Like, if you're a weird, irreverent, if the shot glasses, are they in like funny shapes and you want to make like weird, funny shape content, you should be finding an influencer who isn't that serious. If you're doing like very high class, serious crystal shot glasses, that's a very different influencer. So find the content creators who match your vibe, make sure the engagement is good, and then make sure they produce content that you like, and then work with them, because that's exactly the person you want to be doing.
And then suppose they pick up influence, right? What kind of success metrics or data should the small business owner be tracking from the social media person?
Yeah. I mean, the easy answer is obviously sales. Like, okay, I've run this campaign. Am I selling? But that is not always the way it works. Even with, tracking links, even with codes, somebody will see this ad again, it takes 5 to 8 times to hear about a brand before you actually get interested in it. And that includes anything from like as simple as toothpaste. Like you're not going to change your toothpaste until you've heard about this brand about like 8 different times, and then you change your toothpaste. Human minds we are so stubborn. We are so like stuck in our ways that sometimes it does take being beaten over the head again and again and again. And so when you run a content creator campaign, the same way you're running any kind of ads, part of it is science and part of it is magic. Part of it is, okay, I'm watching and making sure that like more people are buying, more people are clicking on my links, more people are following me after that campaign. But also in the next 6 months, have I seen an increase in sales? All right, the answer is yes, because I have more brand awareness. I have more interest in what I'm doing. It may not be a one-to-one correlation. If I run this ad, I get 1 million sales. Sometimes it is. But sometimes it's this ad, this ad, this ad. And this is why you asked about UGC earlier. When I work with a brand, they're usually hiring me for 10 to 15 videos a month. And they're pretty cheap. They're about, $150 to $250 a video. And then they run them a ton. They run a ton of videos. And out of those 15 videos, one is really going to convert. But that one that converts is going to sell you, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 of product. And so you just have to keep running it. I worked with a brand once and I made a video for them. They spent $19,000 on ads. They made $120,000 back, but they needed to first hire me to make that video. I assumed that they made a bunch of different videos and a lot of them didn't work, but they saw some success with mine. They put more and more money towards it and it just made so much more capital. And that can happen, but only if you keep testing it. So many brands out there run one video once and are like, oh, it didn't work. UGC doesn't work for me. Yeah, that's not the way this works. I'm sorry it didn't work for you, but that's not the way this works.
So there's people out there, and I'm paraphrasing here. There's people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Alex Hormozi, who'll say you need to put 100 social media posts out every day on different platforms, right? Of course, some people say that's not doable. They have teams, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Quality. Like I know places like LinkedIn, they actually supposedly punish you if you do more than 2 posts a day.
Yep.
Like what's it called? They cannibalize you, whatever.
Shadow ban. They're throttle your engagement.
Like how can anyone know what to do, right? It's fucking impossible.
So the reason that Gary Vee says to put out 100 posts a day is exactly that. You're exactly right, because nobody can tell what's working. And so sometimes you'll create a post and it will do amazing. And then sometimes you'll create the same post and it won't. And so even the systems that you break down don't work consistently. The algorithm is constantly changing. It's punishing you someday and rewarding you others day. You're absolutely right. And so that's why he's put out 100 pieces, because one of those pieces is going to engage. And so you do a lot of quality. However, I hate that strategy. I hate it so much. I hate it more than anything, because if you're putting out 100 pieces of content a day, they're not going to be good. They're not. And then you get slop, and slop destroys my brain, and I hate it more than anything. And as AI gets more prevalent, it's going to be easier to put out more content, and we're just going to be overwhelmed with terrible content. So that strategy works on a marketing level, but on a human level, like on a societal level, it's really awful.
Yeah, I think his argument back would be like, hey, if you only do one video a day, who's going to see it, right? Mm-hmm. There's all this content out there, right? I mean, you think about it, Reddit itself as you spend all day on Reddit, know, I guess the argument would be more stuff you put out,
the more people are going to see it.
And then quantity would be bad at first, but then you'll hopefully improve your quantity, improve quality, And
that's the argument they make, is the more you put out, the better you get. So then if you're putting out 100 pieces today and you're putting out 100 pieces from a year from now, the 100 pieces a year from now will be much better. Yeah. And so, look, I can't argue with that strategy of the more you put out there, the more people are going to see. It bothers me. Yeah. It bothers me on I would much rather you take that time and effort and put it towards a marketing strategy, put some money behind it, put some dollars behind it, make something that you put out authentically and it grow and it hits. So for instance, I did a piece. I was at the Orange County Fair. We were working with a client there, and they had this they had this nostalgia exhibit about Blockbuster, and they built a Blockbuster. And I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. My history, my childhood is now history. Yeah. And so I made a video about it, and it's gotten, in the 2 days I posted, something like 300,000 views. I know that's engaging. If I was a brand and I saw that engaging, I would now put money behind that because look, I know people are interested in this video. I'm going to put money. So I wouldn't do 100 pieces. I would do 10 really good pieces. Yeah. And then if one hits, throw money behind it and be like, that's working. That's I would prefer you do a much more, rather than like spaghetti on the wall, you can still try a bunch of stuff, but then have some budget behind it when things work. And that's how you know, like, don't do 100 pieces, do 10 really great ones. And then when one of those hits, really make it fly. That's the way I would do it.
And for me, like LinkedIn, this challenge, I hate and love LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn had like over 23,000 followers. I think I put out good content on there. I posted one thing one day, maybe like 30 views, right? Everyone's, man, Jace, how does this only have 30 views? It's just what you do is so great. And then a couple of days later, a second connection, I don't know, put a picture of a lady with her bare feet on top of an airplane seat. Like, okay. Like how nasty is this, right?
Yeah.
And I put a comment under there and said, hey, I know a flight attendant, and she told me once a flight, someone walks to the bathroom with their bare feet.
Ew.
Yeah, I got 350,000 impressions. I'm like, what is going on here?
But see, you hit something. You hit something that like people really like, and that's what the algorithm does. That if you post that comment and so many people like it, they're going to spread it to more people. And you just have to have that like early. It has to hit, and if it hits well, then they'll just keep sharing it over and over and over again. And you didn't know when you posted that comment that was going to happen. Of course not.
And me, I'm not smart to try to figure out how to translate to the business. I'm just like shocked and amazed, like.
But like you can't like a comment like that, you would never be able to like turn that into a business. But okay, so now you know that like a comment like that plays. Yeah. So maybe the next time you're thinking about a campaign, you're like, okay, my product is even on days where like someone's bare feet are up on your seat with you, our product still makes your life better. Okay, like like a thought like that is going to engage with someone. Maybe you turn that into a marketing campaign where you're just like, someone's like, oh, I hate that. Okay, maybe I do want that product because like it'll make my day a little better if I have someone's bare feet on my head during a flight. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this, right? There are a lot of people that like they want to go viral, right? But like, if you were viral, like suppose Tom Brown did a post or video, whatever, had 10 million views. Mm-hmm. Is Tom Brown really capable of taking advantage of that, right? Is he really? Because like people like have you heard of Bella Porch?
No, tell me more.
So Bella Porch, she did a video on TikTok maybe in 2021, just like a Zoom video, right?
Okay.
Right now it has over 5 billion views on it, right? And she was able to translate that viral video to a single career, modern career.
Sure.
She's a brand ambassador of Vans, all this stuff, right? How about the guy? I think Dogface 420.
Oh yeah, the skateboarding dude. Yeah.
I mean, I think for every person that goes viral, only a small percentage actually take advantage of it, right?
That's true.
So is it better to be viral or like be consistent and have a small audience?
Listen, Hawk Tua Girl has the most popular podcast, or had at one point. Like you can take advantage of it. No, that's an easy question. It's obviously better to be consistent. All right, quote unquote, nobody is an overnight success. There are people who get a moment, their 10 seconds of fame. And some are able to kind of parlay that into, we'll say, short-term, like viability. Maybe you make some money off it. Maybe you get some brands partnerships. Maybe you are the moment. You ever see that Simpsons episode where he's the I didn't do it kid? You know what I'm talking about? Where he's like really funny for like a minute and then like everybody hates him. So if you're going to be consistent, if you want to turn that into a career, you have to figure out how to do that. The Hawk Tua girl figured out how to do that. She like had a brand. She turned into a podcast. She had a coin that was really suspicious and creepy. Maybe probably shouldn't have done that. But like some people are able to kind of then market that. That's just marketing. That's like connecting with the right marketing firm that's able to turn it. But more often than not, consistency is always going to be better. Like building a brand, building what works for you. Like even you talk about these like viral videos. So many people hop on TikTok and see people just yapping, see people like getting on there and doing like a yap video, like phone in front of them. And they're like, I can do that. And then they go nowhere and they don't get the hits. And they're like, why isn't it working for me the way it's not working for them? It's because the other people are consistently good at what they do. They're using the right hooks. They're using the right cameras. They're using the right lighting. They understand like the right way to get people's attention. They understand editing. Like it's so much more than just hopping onto a phone and just starting talking. Even if you're just like live talking, they even understand how to do human psychology. They do, retention hooks. They do things in the middle of the video that keep people engaged. Your average person isn't going to know any of that. That's consistency. So even the people who make it look effortless aren't effortless at all.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that kind of shit on TikTok. I would say TikTok's only like young females dancing. I learned
That's not true anymore.
I learned so much on TikTok. I follow the STEM channel.
Sure.
There's like so many people doing great things. Like,
TikTok's algorithm is better than any of the other ones.
Yeah, I agree.
When you get on for the first time, it's probably going to show you what's popular, which is dancing videos or stupid videos. But the more you search, the more you go, look, I really like cooking videos.
Yep.
I like board game videos. I like movie. I create a ton of movie content. That's my bread and butter. My algorithm is almost entirely movies.
Yeah.
It does a really good job of filtering that out. You just got to give it some time, and not even that much time. Couple days on TikTok, and you'll start seeing videos you absolutely want to be seeing.
Yeah. So what's the last bad movie you saw?
Oh my God, the last bad movie I saw? I went and saw. Ooh, that's a really good question, because I tell you what good movies I saw. I don't know. Well, my phone's over there. Give me a second. I will think about it. I'll come back to you.
So are you a big Marvel guy? Avengers
Sure.
guy?
Yeah.
So this next movie coming with the Doomsday of Marvel.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand it, right? Because Thanos is supposed to be the baddest villain in the universe to beat him. And Doctor Doom is coming. He's a dictator.
Yeah.
And they're talking, we can't beat Doctor Doom. But I could be wrong. But wasn't a movie like maybe 8 years ago where the Fantastic Four by themselves beat Doctor Doom? Like, I'm trying to. Like,
are they fighting Doctor Doom? You know what? I just saw there's a movie creator named Stoobs. She's amazing. And she just put out a great video being like, no one knows what this movie's about. Like, they have given no plot points. It feels like fan edits. All the trailers are just fan edit trailers.
Yeah.
Like, theoretically, they might not even be fighting Doctor Doom.
I mean,
you have no idea.
Yeah, that's views on the thing.
It's actually really badly done. That's why Thanos worked. Is because Thanos was built slowly over movie after movie. So by the time you actually fought Thanos, you understand what he was doing, who he was.
Why he did it.
You cared. Nobody This Doctor Doom is just a cash grab.
Yeah, like Thanos, you obviously don't want half the population to be destroyed, but you kind of saw he's doing it, right? You can consider it as life, right? And Doctor Doom, he's so bad, like, where is he at? He just was he part of the blip, and then like doing the Thanos thing, where was the X-Men then, Fantastic Four then? It's like the mental gymnastics, right?
I feel for Marvel, because how could you give that up? Like, you can't give up the money. And look, they've got a Spider-Man movie coming out at the end of this month. It's going to make $1 billion+ dollars. I can't wait. I love Spider-Man movies. Those are great. But that's like a small hero doing small things. Dope. I'm totally in. Doomsday, like, I don't know. I'll see it. Obviously, like, I'm not gonna not see it. It will make money, and I think that is they will continue to make money. But Marvel, ran a course. They are the most successful studio that has ever existed. That's not true, but like in a small period of time. And then they oversaturated, and now they have to figure out how to like come back from that. And who knows what they're going to do with Doomsday.
Did you see that one trailer where like Thor was there with his hammer?
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I can't believe it. It's impossible." And then what's the Captain America? What's his name? David Rogers, whatever.
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
And Steve Rogers is there, and then the hammer goes from Thor to Steve Rogers.
Yep.
Did you see the second part of the trailer?
I saw that trailer.
So the second part, fucking Tony Stark comes out and it says you don't have to do this alone with Thor. And like, is this a fan created one? Like,
I think it's probably a fan created one.
The thing is, like, if you're doing trailers 6 months ahead of time, man, are you gonna? By the time December comes up, you'll have shown the whole movie, right?
Well, I think that's what they're trying not to do. I think that's why you don't know anything about this movie. But it's also just creating like. But you know what? Every time they post a trailer, people are having these conversations. So they clearly like have an attached audience. I think it's just this matter of like. Every movie genre rises and falls. Yeah. Like think about Westerns. Westerns at one point were the most popular movie genre. When was the last time we saw a Western? Like any Western.
That's what I can think of as Tombstone.
Tombstone's a great film. Yeah. There are a couple like Way of the Dog. There are people, there are ones that were set like in kind of the West era, but like the era of the cowboy is just done. Yeah. And like when you were in that era, if you lived during that time, I'm sure you would have been like cowboys forever. Yeah. So like superheroes will not be forever. Like we went... How many years without a Star Wars movie? Decades. Yeah. And so IP is a very different sense right now than obviously we've ever been in. Like there's so much money, the familiarity, there's so much stuff out there that the more familiar you are with a brand, the more they're going to push it. But like, I feel for Marvel because they're trying to keep this thing alive and they still have interest, but that interest is slowly turning towards hate. And again, it's not the opposite of, it's not apathy. It's not uncaring, but it is like, people just, I don't know, they have to do something that's big, and who knows what big is.
The multiverse, like all these different things. Yeah. So, in your opinion, and I'll give you my opinion after you answer.
Sure.
What's the worst Marvel movie that's been made?
The worst Marvel movie was either Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes. That was a straight up money grab. That was so fucking bad.
Or The Eternals. And
okay, I did see The Eternals.
The Eternals is also bad. The Eternals is Chloe Zhao, and Love and Thunder is Taika Waititi. And the issue with both of them is both of them are incredible directors, like truly incredible. And they just like they were wasted of. They wasted on tone. They were wasted on film. Like Love and Thunder is so bad because Ragnarok, the movie before that, is so good.
Oh yeah,
arguably maybe the best Marvel movie. And so to take what you tried to do there and just like dilute it and put Christian Bale and do nothing with Christian Bale, arguably one of the best actors we have alive right now. I just everything about Love and Thunder is so unfortunately bad.
Jane has Thor power now.
So ridiculous. Like I. If you're gonna take like, did you see Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
So you let Sam Raimi make a weird movie. Did that movie work across the board? No. But was that maybe the most comic book movie that Marvel has made? Yes. And it was fun and ridiculous. They fought with music notes. Yep. There was some creepy elements of like the horror stuff. Yep. Sam Raimi makes a great film, and they let Sam Raimi just like be Sam Raimi. So that's what I would love more of, is stop trying to like fill these boxes. Just give them the freedom to just like make a weird, like let's make, oh God, who made Scott Pilgrim? Why am I blocking on his name? And he made Baby Driver. It's killing me. Anyway, that director was going to make Ant-Man, and then they couldn't make it work. Edgar Wright. He was going to make Ant-Man. It would have been so cool to see an Edgar Wright Ant-Man movie. I love Ant-Man. Ant-Man worked really well. But like if I was Marvel, I would just like stop trying to like fit into these boxes and just let directors kind of put their own kind of weird spin on it and just see what you do. Like you have the money. Let some of the most creative, interesting directors, the Daniels, who made Everything Everywhere All at Once. Let them make whatever Marvel movie they want. How cool would that be? Give them a budget to like just be creative and weird and make a Marvel film. Doesn't even have to fit into the overall universe. Give them another character. I don't know. Just let people be weird at this point. I think that would be fun.
So I'm a big Star Wars fan, right?
Sure.
And the movie I want them to make, but I know they'll never make it, make a Darth Vader movie based on like right after Revenge of the Sith and like 15 years after that. When he's like full Darth Vader mode. That will make it'll be too dark, so yeah.
Unfortunately, that's also the thing. It's like to make, that's why moving Deadpool into the Marvel universe was so interesting, because people were like, are they going to like sanitize this? Yeah. And then they didn't. Like, although I do have my issues with Deadpool and Wolverine, and we can chat about it because they substituted all the sex for just violence, which its own thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. When you're working with IP like that, you have to think family friendly. Although, as proven again with Deadpool and Wolverine, which made so much money, you doesn't have to. You could make an R-rated Star Wars movie.
The best scene was the Darth Vader elevator scene, right?
Oh, what a great scene!
Can you imagine like a 2.5 hour movie just like
let's go?
Like the Emperor like torturing him, all this like depression, Padme die.
I think it'd be fun. Disney, if you're listening, make a adults only Darth Vader movie. That'd be dope.
Yeah, make billions of dollars. Everyone wants to see that movie.
Sure, who wouldn't?
So, is being a builder and creator the same thing, or those two different sides of the same coin?
When you talk about builder, what do you mean?
Like someone who makes something, builds a company.
That's a great question. I would say so. Like, I think you're listen, if you want to get into specifics of like a builder is somebody who deals with the operations and logistics, and the creator is someone who deals with the creative and marketing elements of it. Like, you could get like semantics about word choice, but I think at that point, whether you're like building a company or you're creating content, your process is the same. You're trying to do something, look, I am a big believer that anything successful comes down to one rule, and that is you give people what they want, but in an unexpected way. And if you do that every single time, you'll be successful. Now, that is so much easier to say than actually do, but if you can do that, give them what they're looking for, but be creative about it every single time, you'll win. Like, that's what it comes down to. And so I think whether you're building or you're creating, that rule applies, and sure, I think they're exactly the same.
So what do you see as the future of social media?
I was literally just having a conversation with a woman who hates influencers. Like, she was just like, I hate, because she has daughters, and like her daughters are emulating some of them. And she's like, I want the bubble to burst. I want them all to disappear. And I was trying to talk to her about it, about how it's already changing. So I believe And who knows? I'm making Nostradamus predictions here. But I believe that the age of the million follower influencer who has no personality besides being a million follower influencer is done. I don't think we're going to see another Kim Kardashian for, until everything cycles for again. Because that's not what people want anymore. They don't want famous for the sake of being famous. They don't want just a personality. They want something specific. They want, okay, I like this influencer because he is a movie influencer who teaches me about like nostalgia movies that I didn't remember since like being a kid. They want personality and connections and feelings, and they want to be connected to that person because of that interest. And the algorithm is pushing that. When people ask me now, like, how do I start a new channel? I'm like, get as specific as possible. Don't just be like, I'm going to be a food influencer, because nobody cares. There are too many of them. Find like, I am targeting this neighborhood in this city, and I'm going to show you every restaurant in this neighborhood. And that's cool. Like, that's enough to make people be like, okay, like I live near that neighborhood, or I'm in that neighborhood, or I love that neighborhood. I will follow that over somebody who's just like, I'm another Seattle food influencer. Nobody cares. So the way that the algorithm is supposed, and that's why I was doing lifestyle content. I was doing like pictures, videos, street art, like a whole bunch of different stuff. The algorithm was punishing me. It was not showing my content anymore. So, and then when I moved almost entirely to movie content, I still do a little bit of travel every now and again, but mostly movie content. The algorithm's like, here, followers, views, 200, 300,000 views on a thing about Blockbuster. It literally rewards that at this point. So I think the more niche you get, the better it is. And that's the future of kind of influencers.
So you work with some pretty big brands in the past, Amazon, Disney, HBO, Oreo. Like, how does that work? Do they reach out to you? Do you like reach out to them? Like, how does that partnership come together?
All right. Well, let's talk about the birth of an NYC Social Club. That seems like a good place to do that. So I started NYC Social Club in 2018, which is so long ago at this point. My God. I started this company because I was a content creator. I am a content creator. I have about 110,000 followers across all my channels, which again, nothing to write home about, but like enough that brands were working with me. And these agencies were reaching out and they were so fucking bad. And I'm sorry to swear, but it's so true. Like, you would be invited to a restaurant and they would serve you a cocktail and a basket of fries at this beautiful new restaurant. And do not get me wrong, I love a cocktail and a basket of fries. I do. I'm always going to say yes to that. I'm not complaining about a cocktail and a basket of fries. What I'm complaining about is it did nothing to showcase what the restaurant was. It did nothing to show why that restaurant was interesting. Any restaurant can do a cocktail and a basket of fries. They served that because it was cheap and easy. And you had some of the best creators in the city at this place, and the restaurant wasn't showcasing what they were doing. Waste my time all you want. I mean, please don't, but you can. But you're wasting your clients' time. These agencies, you're wasting the restaurant's time. And then additionally, they would come to me with a campaign and they would be like, read this script. And I'm like, this script doesn't sound like me. This script sounds like an ad. And they're like, well, it's what the brand wants. And I'd be like, no, it's not. I know what you did. You went to the brand and said, what are the points that the influencer needs to read? And they gave the points and they're like, okay, we wrote a script. Can you sign off on the script? And the brand signs off on the script and then they hand the script to the influencer. And this agency has now met their quota. They filled the job. But everyone's unhappy. I, as a creator, am unhappy because I made a bad ad. The brand is unhappy because it didn't do anything. And then the agency has to play this little game where they do the little dance and they're like, well, influencers are hard and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, which is true. But it works better when you do the right things. It works better when you're actually engaging in a way you should be. And so we're like, we should do better. We can do better, and we are better. And so we founded NYC Social Club in kind of 3 tentpoles. One, we are more connected to influencers because we are content creators. So we're better with trends. We're better with metrics. We're better at watching like what's going on in popular. We do this better because we're doing this all day long. 2, we don't do anything cookie cutter. Nothing is okay. I've got this roster of 5,000 creators I've worked with, which is true. But for instance, this Dell one. Dell wanted hyperlocal Seattle tech influencers. I have never worked with hyperlocal Seattle tech influencers. I have now filled it with great people, great local people. We did that because we started from scratch. We didn't pull our tech influencers we worked in the past because they don't mean anything to Dell doing a Seattle hackathon. So everything we do is custom made. And 3, we're so much cheaper. We're just like so much cheaper than your average agency. Your average agency is charging 3 to 5 times more than what we're charging because they're overwhelmingly bad. And so you asked, how did I get to work with Amazon, with Oreo? The answer is we ran campaigns for smaller brands that worked really well. And then they grew to medium campaigns. brands, and then bigger brands just started finding us. Somebody recommended us because they worked with us really well. We created really authentic, engaging content, and so brands keep coming to us. This Dell one was somebody I knew who knew someone at Dell, and they had seen what I'd worked with before. I'd worked with them previously. And they were like, hey, you're looking for influencers? Work with Alex. And so Dell reached out and we had a whole conversation. That's how that came together.
How do you determine, how do you figure out if something's going to go, like, be a good trend to jump on?
Mm-hmm. In general, just for like, some of it is metrics. Like, are you watching it grow? Like, are you seeing a snowball effect? And some of it's just gut feeling. Like, I've worked with brands before that like have had nobody. Like, they are just starting out. There's one in Washington we're working with right now. They're building an app for men to connect with other guys, and the app takes care of all the planning for you. So they're trying to fight the male loneliness epidemic by like connecting people who love board games, people who love walks, people who love this. And then the app takes care of all the logistics. So nobody has to sit there and be like, all right, we're going to meet at this bar at this time. The app is like, I know that you here's 5 of you. You want to play board games? Here's the bar. Show up at 7:00. They will be ready for you. That's an amazing idea. Male loneliness epidemic is a plague, for a whole bunch of different reasons. Connecting people together is so hard to do. Trying to meet new people past your 20s is hard to do. And then like trying to organize an event. So even if you've like met people, trying to just like figure out a schedule is a pain in the ass. This app solves so many problems. They could be on day 1 and he pitches it to me and I'm like, that is amazing. I want to help spread this. I love everything they're doing. They support small businesses. They bring people together. They build community. Everything about that is awesome. So like, I don't care that they have no metrics behind them. Sometimes you just feel something and you're like, that's something I want to be part of.
So you have like 120,000 followers across social media, right?
I do.
Can you talk about something like how you built the community up? Like, I'm guessing like you didn't pay for it. It was everything's organic. Talk about how you did that.
Yeah, it started again when I created my Instagram. I was living in London actually, and I wanted to. Instagram was really formulaic at that point. It wasn't videos, it was photos, and everything looked the same. It was really pretty. It was pastels. Everything was centered. Everything was very clean. And I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I want to do bright colors and loud sounds and like a cacophony of noise. And I just wanted to feel like the city. I want it to be this like visual diary, but I don't want to like filter and edit and like do that. I just want like so much colors you like feel like you're almost going blind. And I did that and it just engaged. Like people really liked it. And so like I got better at it. Like my first photos are bad. Like they're like out of focus. They're blurry. They're bad. But the more you do, the better you got. And that really connected. And then again, I shifted with the trends. When video became more prevalent, I moved almost entirely to video. And when the algorithm changed to be like, it wants you as specific as possible, I moved to pop culture content. And that's just how I've kind of been growing.
And you were born and raised in New York City?
No, I was born in Boston.
Boston?
Yeah.
So how long have you been in New York City?
8 years?
8 years?
Yeah, that seems right.
So talk about some of the pros and cons of being a New Yorker.
They're everything you already think. Like literally, like all right, realistic and fast. The pros are easy. You can do anything in New York at any time. You can get food delivered to you at 5 a.m. There's always something going on. You never have to be bored. You can also, I was just talking about a friend of mine, like does nothing in New York, but he loves living in New York because he loves feeling invisible. He loves walking the city and not being noticed. He doesn't want anyone to know his business. So you can meet everybody in the world and you can meet nobody at the same time. Those are all incredible about living in New York. The cons are easy. It's overpriced. It's overcrowded. It's filled with tourists. Everybody becomes a New Yorker eventually. So you all become jaded and sarcastic and you are the impression, like things that impressed you 5 years ago, that level has to be so much higher and there's a diminishing level of return. So somebody will launch something and you're like, but like it actually should be cool. Like you should be excited. It is a cool launch. That's why like when brands come to me and they're like, should I launch in New York? I'm like, don't launch in New York. Launch in smaller cities, like the one I was just telling you about, launched in Washington, D.C. I think that's great. Find a community that is so much easier to launch in. Don't like grow to New York. Don't launch in New York. Nobody will care. They're all cynical, jaded assholes, myself included.
So is a rat problem the smell of piss and the trash as bad as you hear on everywhere?
Yes, obviously yes. Especially when you look at a city like, say, Chicago or even Seattle, which is just like so much cleaner. Yeah. Like you don't have to have these problems. Yes, New York has rat problems. New York smells gross every now and again, all the time. New York is the largest city, not by square footage, but like by people in the world. It has many problems. All the things you've seen about New York are absolutely true.
I remember I saw one thing on the news one time where this group of people in New York City, they would take dogs and hunt rats at nighttime.
Sure,
like what
do it.
Fuck?
I mean, there it is. Listen, man, you got to find your entertainment somehow.
And so you live in Manhattan or somewhere else?
No, I live right over the river in actually. So technically, I'm in New Jersey.
Okay. Okay.
I live in Weehawken, right over the river.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've been to New York City one time. I need to go back. I mean, the energy there is just so, like you said, you could feel the energy there.
The energy in New York. So I once did a project. I worked with a company and I walked the entire island of Manhattan in 4 different teams. It's 39 miles all the way around the entire island of Manhattan. And I documented what I saw and it was incredible. It was like amazing to see like New York change block by block. You know, you get north and you get to Inwood Park, which is this beautiful park right on the top of the island. The east side of Manhattan was so lovely. The west side was such a awful like garbage. Like it's like the sidewalks like stop. It was so miserable. It rained on me. I was like, are you kidding me? Sorry, I think I messed that up. The west side's really nice. The east side is a nightmare. It's just, New York is constantly, you are never going to get bored even just walking around. You're just like, your brain is always going to be in overstimulation mode. It's pretty cool.
I know what I think a lot of New York criticize when I say hello. You can't fucking say hello to everyone. Like, there's no fucking way. When I was there one time, like, there's literally hundreds of people walking by. There's no way you can, like, be polite to everyone. It's fucking impossible.
So there's an old adage that the West Coast is...
I know you're saying. Yes.
Nice but not kind.
Yes.
And the East Coast
100%.
is kind but not nice. Yeah. And if anyone listening and they don't sort of understand that, on the West Coast, somebody will be like, they'll smile at you and they'll say hi, but then they will like stab you in the back. Yep. Or they won't actually they'll be like, let's hang out, but they won't actually mean it. In the East Coast, especially in a city like New York, let's say your car got snowed in, you like accidentally left it outside, they will call you the biggest fucking idiot ever, and then they'll grab a shovel and help you shovel it out. But they'll like swear at you the entire time. And that is the difference between the two.
I completely agree.
Yeah. And it's very funny to be like, oh, two very different mindsets. So yeah, we don't say hi in New York, but we're kind. We're not nice, but we are kind.
And a good example, like suppose in LA you had a flat tire. People walk by.
No one's helping. No one's even looking at you.
Oh man, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Man, good luck.
In New York City, like, what a fucking dumbass. You know how to change a tire?
Yeah, somebody will grab that tire and come help you.
Ask me what the fuck's wrong with you.
That's exactly right.
While they're fucking changing the tire.
And that's a stereotype of East Coast and West Coast, so not everything applies, but like it is more prevalent than It
is definitely. So how do you decide what kind of companies, what kind of brands to work for?
I mean, I'm always down for a brand as long as it doesn't like affect my morals. Like, I'll get a brand every now and again that will like reach out to me and I'll be like, absolutely not. Like, are you kidding me? You're destroying the world. You're, I don't even need to say a brand. I'll say one. Exxon reached out to me once. I was like, are you kidding me? I know, like, have you seen the oceans? Fuck off. So as long as it doesn't like affect my morals, I'm totally down. Like I'm a big believer that if you want to do something and it doesn't hurt yourself or others, I think that's okay. I really do. I have sort of a hedonistic lifestyle and that sort of vibes, but like no judgments, no weirdness. So like if a brand comes to me and they're like, we want to do something, I will talk to them. So it's, how do I choose? I want to make sure I'm right for them. I don't want to make sure I'm wasting their money. Like if a brand isn't right or it's not working or I can't do the right things for them, I'm going to tell them that. I'm not going to BS them. I'm not going to like tell them that I can do stuff that I can't do. I don't want to be that agency. I want to be an agency that like lays everything out and being like, this is what we can do for you. If it's something you're interested in, I'm totally happy to make this happen. And if not, there's no hard feelings.
2-part question.
Yeah.
How many clients do you have now? And what's the maximum amount of clients you can actually handle?
So we have about 10 clients right now, but that shifts in and out. Some of them are long-term clients, like the one I was just in Orange County. I've been working with them for about 9 years. We have about 6 that are long-term and then about 4 and a couple more coming on that are just like either short-term campaigns, like 1 or 2 months. I don't know. I haven't hit the limit yet. I have some freelance help that helps me. I have one full-time person. We are at a good level where we're just kind of growing. We almost have too much work. But it hasn't affected us yet at this point. Clients kind of come and go, and that's totally fine. I'll have a client that books me now and won't book me again for 2 years, and then they book me again. I'm like, great.
So back to the hackathon you're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do come to get out of doing this hackathon, right? How does that benefit your business?
I mean, the easy answer is I get to now say I've worked with Dell and NVIDIA. Like that's I've never worked with them before. Dope. Those are 2 new clients. Those are big clients that I'm able to now put on my thing. So that's an easy answer of like, great. The brand recognition is really dope. But more interesting for me is I would like to turn this into an ongoing series. They're going to run a bunch of these. I would like to prove success, so they want to keep hiring me. And then theoretically, they tell other people. They go, hey, we worked with this great agency. They didn't charge us as much as the bigger agencies, and they produced incredible content. They brought us great users. Sundust Khalid, who's an incredible AI expert. She's amazing. She has over 1 million followers across all her channels. She is super AI focused. She moved from product manager or data scientist into content creation. She's going to give a keynote talk. I connected her with Dell. She's awesome. They would not have found her if they did not have hired me. And I'm not saying they couldn't have. They just wouldn't have. They weren't putting in the time, the effort. They didn't know the right connections. They didn't know the right people. They didn't send the right emails. I'm so excited to hear Sundust talk. She's awesome. And so I'm hoping that Dell goes, hey, look, like Alex not only like came through with content creators, but also found us. They found in the venue. I found them Sundust, who's an amazing speaker. He goes above and beyond what maybe an agency would have just done for the bare minimum. I don't want to do the bare minimum. I want to be impressive. That's what I would like to do.
So how are you using AI in your business?
Oh boy. All right. AI is such an interesting thing at this point because the potential of AI is fantastic. For instance, I use a thing called Bordy. Have you ever heard of Bordy? So I love Bordy. Bordy, if you guys haven't,
and you're actually like an advisor for Bordy too, right?
Yeah, I am an advisor for Bordy. Non-paid. I've never been paid by Bordy, so they gave me kind of a VIP thing by putting that on my LinkedIn. But let me state right now, everything I say about Bordy here is non-paid. I have never been compensated. That remains true. I just really like what they do. So Bordy is a AI program that links people together. So when you start on Bordy, you get a call from a robot, and it's the weirdest call you're ever going to have because he will ask you questions, and he does things like stutter or pause. So it sounds like human, even though it's still very robotic. And you're like, okay, this is weird. And then he's like, okay, what do you do for a living? And you describe it. And then he describes it back to you better than you just described it. And you're like, oh God, like we are cooked, man. But Bordy will then send me WhatsApp messages and be like, hey, there's this person who runs this thing. They're an agency. They're looking for UGC creators. Do you want to have a meeting with them? And the answer is yes, every single time, because networking sucks. Networking is the worst thing you could possibly do. You go to meetings, you send out cold emails, you go to like meetup groups, and more often than not, 9 out of 10 times your time is wasted, and your time is super valuable. So Bordy, using AI to connect me with people, has been the most incredible thing because that's what I want AI to do. I want it to get rid of all the logistics and operations that nobody wants to be doing, the stuff that actually is harder to do without computers, and just leave human elements. Because then I take real human meetings with real human people and we build partnerships. I have made partnerships, connections. I found clients. I've just met interesting people. I've been able to help out other people through this. It has felt the most human thing I have done, despite it being in a total AI program. So I'm fascinated with it. That's how I use AI. I use it for logistics and operations, research, things that like I don't have either the budget or time or effort to do. But as soon as AI starts taking creativity, like I have never run an AI creator campaign, nor do I ever want to, even though that's where people are going, because the less human we are, the worse everything is.
Yeah. I know a lot of people say AI is going to take jobs, but me, I think AI is just a tool, right?
The issue is, what are we using? AI is just a tool. You're right. And like everybody has said this constantly, from the first machines ever, people were like, well, this is going to take jobs. And the answer is yes, it does take jobs. Progress takes jobs, but it changes it to new jobs. Yeah. The issue with AI is what we're already seeing is it's not going to, it is taking jobs. Yeah. It's not going to. We are seeing engineers get fired. And then they replace it with AI. and it's taking more time, more effort, more problems are being caused.
Yeah.
So like right now, AI is this shiny new tool that people think can save money and replace people.
And then like, oh shit, tokens cost money.
And then it actually creates problems. So I think that right now we are in this like shiny new toy phase, and I think it will settle, and then it's a matter of, the best new like startups that are using AI are not AI based programs. They are programs that have an AI element built into them. Those are the ones like Bordy. Like Bordy isn't exactly what I'm talking about. Those are the ones that are doing interesting things. The ones that are just replacing people with AI are failing. And we're seeing it happen over and over again, but they think they're not failing because they're saving money. But long-term cost is a real thing. Yeah. Do you hear me, every tech company? Long-term cost is a real thing, and it's going to bite you in the ass.
Yeah, my thing is all those AI companies. Are you really AI company, or are you just like wrapped around Google Claude or Gemini, right? Are you really AI company? I don't know.
And a lot of them aren't. But you know what? If you're doing AI in clever, creative ways, I'm totally down. Like, be interesting with AI and then use it as a tool and create more opportunity for people. If theoretically, we move faster. We get things done quicker. We are able to share ideas in more interesting ways. We are able to like take, and there's a great equalizer. People who like have trouble writing emails can now write like a very professional email and get their thoughts across, even though like socially they're a little awkward or they don't really understand how to do this well. There is a really nice element to AI that does create a human element that allows us to like get rid of the stuff we don't want to be doing and focus on the stuff we do want to be doing. That's cool. I would much rather be doing that. I don't want to like do bullshit data entry. Nobody does.
No.
And then, but people who do data entry for a living are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. But theoretically, we then progress, and it does suck. Like, let me get me wrong. Anytime someone loses their job to a computer, it is awful. It's really bad. What I wanted to do is then create new opportunities. So if people are no longer data entries, then they are doing something else. If, when we moved from candles to electricity and there are no more lamplighters, theoretically you moved into something else. I feel bad for the lamplighters. We don't have lamplighters anymore. Progress does create change, and a lot of times that change sucks. And I'm sorry, and it sucks. But hopefully it creates new opportunities.
So here's a story for you about lamplighters, right? And so I guess back in New York City, 1900, whatever the year was, right? There was like still lamplighters, right? But the city was like, no, we're gonna look into going to electrical lights, and so they put half the lights in electrical, other half for lamp lights, because they would do an experiment, right?
Sure.
Well, the lamplighters, they're like, we're going on strike, and so no one lighted the lamp.
Yeah.
And the electricity has lighted the whole city.
Yep.
And so they fucking struck themselves out of a fucking job.
And like every company that kind of gets progressed out tries to do that. You looked at the music industry when Napster was happening and they were suing people because they're like, okay, we'll win by lawsuits. Genie's out of the bottle, my friends. Like once you create something that allows people to like illegally like steal stuff, you're never going to get that back. But like, that's the only thing they knew. They knew like, oh my God, this is affecting our industry. All right, we'll do lawsuits to win. Yeah. No, you're not. Like, no, you're not. And time has proven again and again that you will never win that battle. So sure, of course, it doesn't surprise me that like you go on strike and they're like, all right, we'll just move the whole city electricity.
Yeah.
That, okay.
I mean, honestly, Napster was illegal as fuck, man, but it was so far as its time. I mean, everyone used it, yeah.
It's unbelievably illegal, but like, it's a crime that like was hard to prosecute. And I think that's what they were thinking. They were like, well, if we prosecute some people, it'll scare people away, but that's not the way human instinct works. If it's affecting somebody else, but it's not affecting me, it's like, oh, that sucks for them, but it's not affecting me. I would love to actually hear the law. Like, I'm sure there are articles of the people who got sued by like Napster like early on, or like sued by the music companies. That had to be like, just that they were like randomly chosen and just like lawsuits, that had to be like destructive their entire life. Didn't stop people legally downloading. It's happening now more than it ever has in our history. So,
so how do you keep your creative juices flowing, so to speak?
I don't try to force it. I think that like, so there are days when I have to shoot. Like I know that like if I don't get these like videos done, it's not going to get done. And so the day before that, I won't do any shooting. I won't like even pick up a camera. Like if I shoot 2-3 days in a row, I'm so burned out. My videos are awful and I can feel that the energy's low. The thing doesn't work. And so I never force it. Like, I'll sit and I'll like brainstorm or I'll write or I'll do something. And if it's not coming, I just walk away. Cause like, I think the worst thing you can try to do is like try to force brilliance or try to force creativity. And so like, create a situation where you can be creative, make a tea, make a coffee, be somewhere that's really great. And if it's not happening, that's fine. It will happen the next day. If it takes a week, if it takes 2 weeks, man, sometimes, storms last a long time, but they don't last forever.
So another two-part question, like, how do you decide what equipment to use, like cameras or whatever, and then how often do you replace your equipment?
Sure. There are a whole bunch of instructions out there. Like if you want to become like a vlogger or you want to become like a content creator about like how to do it. I find the ones that I really like I have a ring light that is a generic ring light. Doesn't matter. I use DJI products for my mics because I think that they do an amazing job. I think that my audio sounds so much better. I know, like when I plug in my DJI mic and I've got my little like lapel mic, which you see in my videos all the time, it just sounds so much better. However, I just shoot mostly on my iPhone. Like I have a DSLR. It's a beautiful camera. I will only set it up when the brand actually requires it. I think that iPhone footage is fine. And I think it actually looks great. And in fact, it looks so common that you kind of get used to it. When I shoot with my DSLR, it feels like a real movie, but it almost is too professional sometimes. So like, find what works for you. Like literally there's no wrong way to do it. Besides the fact that like when videos look bad, they look bad. So get them to a standard that like is a quality standard that people like, and then just use whatever you want.
Where do you see brands wasting the most money?
That's a great question. In marketing sense or just in general?
Marketing.
I think where brands waste the most money is that they try to force like something onto everyone. We talked a little bit about this before, square peg round hole. I see so many brands where it works somewhere. Hey, we ran this campaign and it was super fun and it worked really well. We targeted, 20-year-old, like in college kids. Okay, we'll run the same campaign for 40-year-olds. Why do you think that? And it's because like they have brand success. So they're like, okay, we'll just adapt it. We'll just change, instead of the 20-year-old in the video, it'll be a 40-year-old in the video. And we'll use the same script. Like that sounds ridiculous, but they do it all the time. And it's such an interesting experience to be like, why would you think this is going to work again? Like, why did you think like without any testing, without any research, without any sort of marketing, like you've done no looking into your clients, get to know who your people are as people, and you will do a much better job of creating that. Otherwise, again, you're just wasting money. You're throwing it in that hole and setting it on fire.
So let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally making this up, right? So first of all, there's millennials, then there's a Gen Z, then
Sure.
Gen A. Right now it's Gen A, right?
Yeah.
Gen A, they're like 18 to 25.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at, Gen Alpha. Yeah.
Okay, so let's suppose Cadillac comes to you, say, hey, a 95% of customers are boomers. Boomers are dying off.
Yeah.
Help us switch from a boomer ad generation for Cadillac to a Gen A.
Sure. The best brand who's ever done that is Taco Bell. Take a look at Taco Bell social media. Taco Bell crushed it. Taco Bell had a very specific fast food audience, and those were older people. It was the same crowd that was going to McDonald's and Wendy's, and they were running think about like the Chalupa dog, they were the same ads as everybody else was running. Taco Bell on their social media went crazy. They decided they were just going to do the most random, most insane, most obscure, things that McDonald's would never do in a million years, because McDonald's has an image and Taco Bell could have kept that same image, but they were like, absolutely not. We are just going to get irreverent and weird and wild, and we're going to create fourth meal because we know we're targeting stoners, because people who want to eat at 3 a.m., they never say the word stoners, but who do you think fourth meal is for? It's not for your mom who is asleep by 7 o'clock. It's for the stoners. So even when they were running national ads where they weren't as weird, they were still targeting a different audience, being like, we know who you are, people who like Taco Bell. And that's cool. That's what a brand should do. So Cadillac wants to come and target Gen Alpha. They have to throw away their playbook. They have to start again. And Cadillac, in fact, what I would tell them is, do not target Gen Alpha. Who in Gen Alpha has the money to buy a Cadillac? Don't do that for you. Taco Bell can do that because people in Gen Alpha have money to buy a taco. Cadillac does not. So don't do that. But if you want to target a different audience, let's say you're really good with old white men, but you'd like to target young professional women who are, up and coming and maybe would like to use the Cadillac as the status symbol, that's a different story. Again, you're going to have to throw out your entire playbook, and we're starting from scratch, but we can do that.
So talk about this process, right? Suppose you go through the whole creative process for ad, and you're going through it, you think it's going to be great, but then you see the final part, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like how do you go about fixing it or going back, all that kind of stuff?
So theoretically, you don't get to the end. You should be watching this from like, I just launched a cigar show, actually. Really, really cool. It's called The Cigar Standard. Somebody I know was looking me to produce it. We filmed it. We worked, we had Bass Rutten from MMA, like as one of the first guests. Really cool show. It's on YouTube. Sorry, I should probably not be promoting another YouTube show. All right. When that first edit came in, it was awful. It felt like a podcast. It needed to be a 15-minute YouTube show. It couldn't be like the ums and the ahs, and like podcasts are great. What we're doing right now is great, but that's not what this show was. We had to edit it from the beginning. Now, I had an idea for what I wanted this show to look like in the beginning, and we were able to kind of skew it. So when they came back, and even though it's just two people sitting in a chair, I was able to be like, no, absolutely not. Here's some examples of Food Network shows. Here's some example of Travel Network shows that do this really well. Quick cuts, B-roll, fun videos. Like, I want this to feel engaging. I want you never to be bored in this 15 minutes. I don't want there to be a moment of delay. Like, it doesn't have to be frantic. It doesn't have to be manic, but it has to be interesting the entire way through. And so we recut it. And I am very proud of that show. Like, that show is great. So you shouldn't get to the end and be like, I have to rework everything. You should have an idea of what you're trying to do from the beginning. And that, again, takes research, it takes thought, it takes process, it takes sort of 360 planning. But then if something does come out, it's wrong, change it. Don't publish something that's bad just because it's there. There's always another week. There's always a couple days. Artists do this all the time. An album's supposed to come out. They go, nope, it's not coming out for another month. It sucks. It's annoying, but they do it all the time. It's because it's not quite ready. Don't publish it if it's not ready.
So I think some people will say, if you start social media, pick one platform, like pick TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. And get really good on TikTok and then expand outwards.
Sure.
Other people will say, no, post on all 20,000 platforms at first. And then once you see what platforms grow, focus on that one.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Again, it takes us back to the beginning. Make a couple really good pieces of content and then post them across the channels and see what works. So like, I have no problem. Like, I'll post my same thing on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. And they do different things. Like, some really hits on one, some really hits on the other. I very rarely edit them. I mostly just like mass post them, but I'm proud of them. And I don't know where they're going to play well. Sometimes YouTube will like pull it and it will get, 500,000 views. And then Instagram gave it 800 views. And I'm like, it's the same video. It's literally the same video. I don't know. Like, I got nothing for you. So I would say do try across the channels because they're also different, but make sure that it's quality.
Can you talk about any kind of tools you use as far as marketing or whatever, like, video editing or anything like that?
Yeah, I use CapCut. I think that does a really good job. I don't think you need, like, CapCut is a app on my phone. It mostly gets it done. If I really need to actually get into it, I will use Final Cut. I'm a self-trained video editor, so I'm not like specifically great, but I'm good enough to be able to do what I need to do. Final Cut is obviously like, I sit down on a computer, I upload all my videos. It's like a very it's very intense. CapCut mostly gets it done. I can pretty much quickly edit a video now in like 10, 15 minutes.
And you do this on your desktop? You do this on your phone?
On my phone. So CapCut's on my phone. Okay. And that is, it's great. And it gets it done. It's really professional. It gives you all the, titles, transitions, effects, edits. Like it's really like a good one. Most people I know use CapCut at this point.
For you. Let's post them out there. They're making videos, right?
Yeah.
And suppose they do a video on the iPhone, and it's decent, right? Mm-hmm. But they know, what, if I take the extra 5-10 minutes to go to CapCut, it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
But like, man, if I take the 5-10 minutes times 10 times this extra time I have wasted, like, how does someone make the decision like this extra 5-10 minutes doing CapCut or whatever editing is actually worth it?
Well, now you're getting into the Gary Vee model where you treat it like a business. Listen, do you want to do this for fun? Post it. Listen, whenever anybody asks me, how do I become famous on Instagram? I go, you don't. Like, you don't. You just won't. You are not going to become famous on Instagram. Now, if you do the right things, you could grow. You could build a following. And then maybe you become famous on Instagram. But you should go in the mindset of, I'm not doing this for fame. I'm not doing this for virality. Because if you do that, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be sad. Every time a video doesn't hit, you're going to be upset. And so you have to figure out the reasons you want to do it. Okay, I want to do this semi-professionally, or I want to do this. I want to do this in a way that like feels professional. Then I have to put in the time. So yeah, then I need to spend 10 more minutes and do CapCut because it's going to look better and it's going to feel better and my content is going to be better. And if I don't have that, if I just want to get famous off like posting yap videos, then you can try it. Like, do it. Like, maybe it'll work. More often than not, it doesn't. More often than not, you need an editor.
Okay. Talk about this, right? So I think a lot of people, they do podcasts, they do videos, whatever. Mm-hmm. and they know that they should get on the phone, like make some video phone. But a lot of people, like, man, they're kind of like they get anxiety, they get shy by talking on the phone.
Sure.
How do you ask or tell people to overcome that, or just like, or don't, or that talking on the phone's not your thing, just keep on doing other things?
The easy answer is just do it. Like, literally, like, listen, if you're going to be embarrassed from posting social media content, then you're probably not going to like post a lot of social media content. Or, okay, one of two ways. Either A, don't put yourself in there. There are a lot of content out there that just do not put themselves in there. That works if you can find a vibe that works for you. Or two, start small. Maybe you just do voiceover to begin with. Maybe you don't put your face on it and you just like narrate over it. And then you can do multiple takes because you're just doing montage. You're doing clips, clip, and then you're talking over that. And if it doesn't sound good, hey, do another take, record it. You're not doing anything live. You don't have to worry about editing like live video. You're just like, you've written a script and you say it. And then once you get more comfortable with your voice, maybe then you read that script, you have a teleprompter and you read that script on air. And again, like you do it again and again and again until it feels good. There's a great quote from Adventure Time. Do you know Adventure Time?
No.
Adventure Time's a really cute cartoon that like seems like a really cute kids cartoon, but then the more you watch it, the deeper and more intense it gets. There's a character named Jake the dog. He's wonderful. And the quote he says that I live by. He goes, man, sucking at something is the first step to being kind of good at something.
Yeah,
and like it works. Like, and like obviously like people have said that before, but I really like the way he says that, where it's not even being good at something, it's being kind of good at something, but you gotta start at sucking at it. And like there it is.
Like, how many people they'll tell you, get confidence first? No, you don't get confidence first. You do the thing, you suck at it.
Yeah, over and over and over again.
I mean, yeah. What's the best way not to fail? Not start right.
And that's it. Like it. You know what? Like. Or make videos. You know what? Make videos for your mom. Like, I'm not even kidding. Your first videos, your mom will always, your mom will hopefully always support you. Yeah. My mom watches every video I do. Yeah. She's my biggest cheerleader. She's always clapping. I could have just made videos for her, and that would have made me feel like less like maybe self-conscious. Yeah. And then at least somebody's watching it. You're not just making it for nobody. Yeah. But like, ask like 3 or 4 people who love you to just watch your content. Yeah. And don't even ask them to like send feedback. Just be like, can you just watch this so I know somebody's watching? And start there. So
let's talk about Snapchat real fast, right?
Sure.
So Snapchat, I used to be a big fan of Snapchat back in the day. You used to do geo filters, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what happened. Like, it's like, I was using it a lot, and then like one day I was like, man, this is fucking trash. Like, I don't know, they changed the UX.
They did.
VR. Like, I used to love Snapchat. And I was like, yeah.
Snapchat built a platform that was too insular. It literally was too hard to share your content. It was too hard to connect with others. They really wanted to keep it for like first only people you knew, and then kind of people you knew, and then they had a platform that like shared content with others, but it was also too random and it was hard to use. The app is not user like friendly. It just it moved people out of the market as things like TikTok became more user-friendly and more targeted and more interesting. You can hop on TikTok right now and see videos you like. You can hop on Snapchat and feel frustrated. And that's going to affect it.
TikTok is what Snapchat could have been.
Without a doubt. They had the user base. They wanted to keep it ingrained. They wanted to keep it in-house.
Yeah. Can you rank order like the social media apps people should be using?
No. And the reason is because everybody is different. Okay. It literally is. Like, So I was at the Cheyenne Frontier Days, which is the largest outdoor rodeo in the world. And there's a vendor there called Mini Apple Pies. If you've never had a Mini Apple Pie, they're so good. They're like hand-fried pies. Oh my God, they're so good. And he was talking about the fact that he's getting so much attention on TikTok right now because they're making funny, weird videos and they're attracting an audience that isn't normally interested in what they're doing. They're a food vendor at a fair. He did not think that TikTok would be great for him, but he tried it and it's been great. Yeah. You know what? Awesome. Try that. So like, there isn't one that like works for everybody, but try stuff, see what's playing, see what's working, see what's trending on those videos, and then on this app, and then make videos for those apps. So I'm not here to tell you like, ignore Snapchat. Maybe Snapchat does work for you, but like more often than not, Facebook runs a little older, TikTok runs a little younger and like a little weirder, and Instagram's that kind of middle ground. But like, try it and see what's working for your audience.
So how often is someone pivot? Like someone's doing social media, doing videos, we'll stay on TikTok. Mm-hmm. They've done it maybe 3 or 4 months. They're still stuck in the 200 view jail they call.
Yeah.
Like how often does someone want to change what they're doing?
Then like even like right after a month, if you are still posting videos and it's 200 views, that doesn't even mean your content is bad. It's maybe you're just doing it in the wrong way. A guy just came to me and he sent me this video that used a trend. It was that yes, nope trend. Like, yep, nope. It doesn't matter. It's a trend. But his video had no people in it. It was just like a picture. And he was like, I thought this would do really well. And it was filmed horizontally for TikTok. And I was like, I love the concept. You need somebody holding these things, like holding your products. Bad product, good product, bad product, good product. You know, especially if it's somebody who's like good looking and they're just like, they're throwing the product behind them. Nope. Yep. Nope. And like, see, you just laughed. You can see that video.
Yeah, I can picture it in my mind.
Of course. The video they made was a great concept. It hit on a trend. It was interesting. It was just filmed incredibly bad. It was going to do nothing for him. So you need to see what's actually working, not just like this is trending, but why is this trending? What makes that video that's trending better than the one I just did? And then just learn from it. And that's why, like, again, hire a social media person, hire a community person. I know not everybody can do this, but if you can, somebody who can specifically take all their time and focus on it, that's what they should be doing, because you as a founder, you as a builder don't have the time to be doing it.
Does horizontal or vertical, like, does that really matter?
Yeah. If you're scrolling TikTok and you see a horizontal video, you're scrolling past it immediately. It feels like an ad. It feels like not designed for the platform. The only place to get away with horizontal video is YouTube and then maybe Facebook. Okay. But like more often than not, like you design for the platform or people are not watching.
And so how does this work, right? Suppose your social media or whatever, and a video pops up. Man, this is a really good video. And you're like, man, I want to reach out to this influencer and work with this influencer.
Sure.
How's that? Do you do Instagram DM? You have a business plan that goes there? Like, how's that work?
Find what way they want to be contacted. So if they have their email on their profile, they totally want an email. If they don't, you send them a DM. You do it respectfully. You send them a message explaining why it's worth their time, because they probably get a million messages. So what can you offer that other people can't? Is it budget? Is it opportunity? Is it exclusivity? Is it you have an idea that makes perfect sense for them? Like, hey, I'm a big fan of what you're doing and I'm explaining XYZ. I watched this last video I saw it was amazing. Can we build off that to do that? Every influencer out there knows a forum email when they get one. Oh my God, I get a million of them a day. I usually still reply because I want to see what they're doing, but I get a ton of emails being like, hi, we're X company and we make this product and we think we could work with you. Do you want to work with us? Okay, like, why do you want to work with me? Like, what's like the ones who come and they're like, we love your movie content. We saw that video about Blockbuster. We've a nostalgia snack. Would you want to work together? I'm like, dope. Look at this. Like, they know what I'm doing. They like have a snack, like they're doing the new Gushers, whatever it is. Like, this makes sense as a partnership. Yeah. Let's talk details. I'm so much more excited when they come with like an actual email written towards me.
Yeah. So a hackathon tomorrow, I'm guessing you have some kind of content plan. Are you going to have cameras recording stuff and
sure.
doing that kind of stuff? Can you talk about how you're going to do that?
Yeah. We have a photographer and a videographer coming, but a lot of it is people like you, like who theoretically are coming and they'll cover it and they'll talk about it and they'll show what they're doing. It's a matter of like, the videographer and photographer that they have at the event, that's in-house content. That's content that they're going to make, that they're going to push out socially. The content that, people like you theoretically are coming and will make content, that's external. That's stuff promoting it. And then the two together create a really good package.
So, back to your company, right? Mm-hmm. How many people are working for you?
One full time, and then about 10 freelance.
Okay. What else?
Yeah.
So, when someone reaches out to you to do some kind of branding, marketing, right? Mm-hmm. What's the process, right? Like the Fiberglass company calls you tomorrow, right?
Sure.
How long does it process from they first calling you to having a finished product? I know it depends on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it depends on what they want to do. So my first question is, what do you want to do? Do you want to make UGC ads to run to social media? Do you want to work with influencers to try to create content? Do you want to run an event? Do you want to do something really weird and wild? I'm working with a board game company right now, and I won't mention which one because I am under an NDA, but they have an amazing game that has a really cool theme. It's kind of like a punk rock theme. So I'm finding them this really cool punk rock space, and we're going to invite cosplayers down to play the board game in punk rock like attire, like Mad Max attire. Dope. That's super cool. They wanted to do something a little weirder than just like running your normal campaign. Okay, that's going to take me a little longer, but the results are going to be so much more interesting. So first question is, what are they trying to do? And then we build off of there.
Is there such a thing as creative burnout?
Yeah. I mean, there's such thing as burnout in every sort of thing. You do this long enough, like you'll see people quit all the time. You'll see people quit social media. You'll see like really successful social media creators, YouTubers. Like we've had a bunch in the last like 5 years just quit. People who just I'm not doing this anymore. I've done this for long enough. I'm done. And you're just like, oh my God, you have 5 million followers. Like, do you understand like what people would kill for that? Yeah. But yeah, they're done. Burnout happens all the time.
What's your advice to this? If there's a person 18 years old, they want to be a marketer.
Sure.
But their parents, all the people say, no, go to college, get a marketing degree, and then get a job. But he's like, you know what? I want to do this now.
Yeah.
What's your advice?
It's really tough because the college degree is has become devalued. It's not nearly as important as it was, but it still matters. Listen, I run my own company after being in, different companies for 20 years. Like, how long was that? So 20, no, okay, not 20 years, 15 years. I was doing, company man. I could not have started my company without that experience. I could not have gotten those jobs without my college degree. My college degree is not very useful. Especially now, the stuff I learned in college is completely worthless. But I still needed it to get that first job. So I have a hard time. Listen, I wish we lived in a society that they looked at it and they were like, it doesn't matter, you don't have a college degree. When I was hiring for people in jobs, you know what I would do? I would move every single person. I would move every single person who applied to the next level. And the next level was a very small project. I'm talking less than an hour, because I don't believe in doing work that you should be paid for your work. But I wanted them to at least put something together for me to show they were interested. And it, again, didn't have to be polished. I was very clear. I was like, do not spend a ton of time on this. Just here's a brief. Show me what you would do. And then the interesting ones I would always take a meeting with. Yeah. And I didn't care. Honestly, I didn't care about the resume. I would then look at it afterwards. But if you wanted this job, I wanted to see where your creativity was, where your interest was, and what you would do in this sort of field. And then it was great. So I did. I hired one person who didn't have a college degree, but that's because everybody else had college degrees. Because I think it's just standard that if you're going for a marketing thing, I wish more people would do that. I wish more people would be more open to just this is the right person for the right job. And theoretically, maybe that's what AI does. It connects people in a more interesting way based off experience. So I have a hard time being don't go to college. But if you don't want to go to college now, okay, try something. Go get a job. Try to get a job in a marketing field, or a adjacent marketing field, or do some stuff in your spare time that is marketing adjacent, and then parlay that into something bigger. And then don't take student loans. Student loans are a scam. They're the absolute worst. If I can avoid you from doing that, college was really good for me because it taught me a lot of things. And then it opened my mind. I met new people. By the time I left college, I was very ready for the workforce, because if I had gone right from high school into workforce, I would have been a kid too long. I needed that transition period to kind of grow up. And I still wasn't grown up. When I was 22, 22, I was still a child. I did some really stupid things, made some very bad mistakes early on, and I still continue to make mistakes. I'm 40, I'm still making mistakes. So
one thing with student loans, my thing is why are we charging people fucking interest for student loans? That's the one thing.
Because we live in a capitalist society. We live in the darkest timeline.
Yeah, why? Yeah, interest rates, that makes no sense to me.
Everything, I don't know. My brother just had a kid a couple years ago. And I feel for this kid because I am, I am probably the tail end, me at 40, the tail end of somebody who could who follows the path, who could go to college, get a job, get a bunch of jobs. I think about my grandfather who worked the same job for 50 years. Yeah. That's never going to happen. No. It wasn't going to happen to me. No. But I got enough jobs. I worked at enough big companies. I did enough impressive things where now that I'm working for myself, I'm able to take all that experience and work for myself and have a successful business. Knock on wood that AI doesn't kill my entire business, because it could. But my brother's kid, inflation, the environment, the student loans, just across the board, everything. He's growing up in a world that is significantly worse.
Buying a home is not option no more.
It's just what do you do? I feel for everyone who has a kid out there bringing a child into this world. We were supposed to have a world where every generation gets better and easier for the generation after. And until 2 generations ago, that was the case. Every single generation did better than their parents. We're not doing that anymore. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. How do you take care of yourself?
I'm a diabetic, so type 1 diabetic since I was 9. And so that's a good question. I try to eat well. I try to work out. That's it. Mental health is super important to me. Therapy is super important to me. I have therapy every Monday. Shout out Dr. Jen. What up? It's a combination of a whole bunch of things. I try to just make sure that every day I'm not doing things that are detrimental to my health. And if I am, then I will try to do better the next day.
And then what do you do for fun or your hobbies?
Sure. I watch a lot of movies. Big surprise. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I take long walks, like 4 or 5 hour walks, because I think like wandering through a city or wandering through an area is just the most fantastic thing you can do. I play with a lot of dogs. I used to dog sit till I just moved to a place that I can't do that, but I will once I move again. I use Rover, and I love dog sitting. Dogs, I think, are the greatest thing on this planet. We do not deserve the love that dogs give us.
So when you read a book, are you the type of person like starts the book on page 1 and doesn't stop until you finish the whole book, or you like read a chapter a day?
No, neither. Some days I'll like power through, and then some days like I'll literally go months without reading. I will give a book 100 pages, and if it has not captured me at that point, there are too many books out there that I want to be reading.
Okay, so you're not the type of person once you start a book you have to finish.
No, absolutely not. If this book sucks,
because so many people, I started the book, I got to finish it.
I'm that way with movies. If a movie is terrible, I will still finish the movie because I want to see how it all wraps up. And then if it's bad, I'm really angry. But that only took me 2 hours of my life.
Yeah.
And we still haven't talked about. There was a movie that I just watched and it was really bad, and I can't remember what it was, and now it's bothering me. It doesn't matter. No, I'm not that person who like needs to finish a book. My God, no.
Okay. So back to Hackathon tomorrow, right?
Sure.
Obviously, you have your deals with NVIDIA, Dell.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like pose it? Like, how do you like? Is a go to find new customers at the hackathon? Like maybe this company's doing something pretty cool, and hey, like, you make this product. It won't be done for a year, but here's my name. Maybe do something in the future.
I mean, that's why Dell is that's why both of them are sponsors. Is you're looking for. I mean, this you couldn't get a better like talent pool than like the people who are coming to a hackathon. The people who would like absolutely invest in both those products. Sure, that's exactly why. That's the beautiful synergy of doing something like this. Is you are tapping into a giant brand that is always looking for more customers, and then you have a audience base who is absolutely interested in what they're doing.
So events, like, what makes a great event?
Ooh, what makes a great event? Okay, there are two things that make a great event. First is your logistics and operations have to be on point. If your event is overcrowded, if it's badly run, if it starts late, all the things that annoy you. You've been to bad events. The first one is the easy thing, not the easy things, but the logistical things you need to deal with. Because if you're not nailing those, your event is going to be bad. I don't care how magical, how whimsy, how wonderful it is. If the logistics and operations are bad, it's going to be a bad event. It's why like South by Southwest is both amazing and insanely frustrating at the same time, because people plan these incredible activations, but it's so crowded, so overwhelmed, you wait in lines forever that you both feel like, wow, this was amazing, and I hated that. So like, it's still a great event, but like it doesn't hit that. So step one is just like making sure your basics are good. Is there food? Is there drink? Are there people to answer questions? Great. Number two is a feeling. Like, have I elevated? Have I, created surprise and delight? Like an event that creates surprise and delight. If you, again, give people what they want in an unexpected way. If you nail the logistics and operations event and then you create elements that are like amazing, people will walk away being like, that event was awesome. I loved everything about it. That's all it takes.
So how do you deal with this? Like you do an event, right? Mm-hmm. And people sign up. You know, like you Eventbrite, Luma, and let's say one instance, 100 people sign up.
Yeah.
But only 25% show up.
Oh yeah, sure.
And vice versa. 30 people sign up, 100 people show up. Right?
I just had that happen. Yeah.
Like, how do you balance that? How do you plan for all that?
Statistically. Sorry, hold on. I'm checking my blood sugar. How exciting. Statistically, you're going to get anywhere from half to 1/3 to half just not show up. Yeah. That's the way it always going to works. Sometimes it isn't the case. I literally just planned an event where I was expecting 60 and we had 120 show up, and I was like, I guess we're rolling with this, and we did. We always plan for the you plan for the outcome. You have plan A, which is what's most likely going to happen. Hey, I've got 60 people RSVP'd, 30 people are going to show up. We'll make that's great. If 30 people show up, that is a success. Yeah. And then if 60 people show up, do I have enough food? Do I have enough drinks? Am I prepared for this? It is easier when they buy a ticket, because obviously if you spend money, there's more of a I'm going to go to this event. Something about even spending $1. Like if you charge someone $1 and they buy a ticket, they will show up at that event exponentially more than if they don't.
How about this? Like suppose you have 75 people event. It's a good event, people networking. It's not on you as an event owner, but I think a lot of people go to events and they meet people, but they don't follow up, right?
Yeah.
How do you make sure people follow up?
Follow up with each other?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You create a space where they want to follow up. You make it as easy as possible. I use a digital business card called Blink, where it goes right to their email. Because you hand someone a business card, they're going to lose that business card. Business cards are worthless. Yeah. But if you send an email to them being like, hey, we worked, like I met you at this event, like immediately they plug in their email, it sends my digital business card to them, and then I follow up later. But they just have that email from me in their inbox. I get so many better. Like I've stopped buying business cards because they're stupid. And I can't tell you, like I've met a ton of people, they're like, you don't have business cards? You need a business card.
This thing 1991.
And I'm just like, you don't need a business card. And in fact, your business card is probably hurting you because people are putting it in their pocket, forgetting about it. You didn't get their email, so you can never contact them again. What a worthless way to like communicate. It's awful. So like you make it as easy and interesting as possible. You bring together the people that want to actually connect, and then you leave it in their hands. What else are you going to do?
How about this? Like most events, like Luma, Eventbrite, whatever, you can ask me you want to like email, phone number, right? Like suppose you have like 100 people to event, you have 100 emails, 100 phone numbers.
Yeah.
How do you take advantage of that without being like quote unquote scammy, so to speak?
You pick the 3 that actually matter and you write a personalized, detailed email to them. And the other ones, you either move to your newsletter list so they can unsubscribe if they want, or you ignore those emails. Because again, you go to these meetup events, 99% of people are worthless for you. Don't message them if they're worthless for you. Do not send people emails if it's not going to be beneficial to either of you. Please stop doing that. I can't tell you how many emails I get that I'm like, this is bullshit. This is so stupid.
So let's suppose you find these 3 people to email, right?
Yeah.
I know some people say like email them to tell you no or tell you to fuck off.
Yeah.
Other people say no, only like 3 emails. What's your philosophy on that as far as follow-ups?
I send one more email. I'll just be like, and it will be really cute. I'll be like, hey, bumping this to keep it alive. Just wanted to make sure you saw it and like it would like you didn't miss it. Yeah. And that's it. And then if they like don't email me after that, then I let it go. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Google, now will like email you being like, you haven't heard back from this person in 5 days. I'm like, great, I'll send the follow-up email then. Yeah. And that's it. Like that's the end of that conversation. Don't be spammy. Don't be annoying. Just like, because sometimes people do miss the first email. Sometimes it goes to spam. Like I have had good opportunities go to spam. So like sometimes they're not ignoring you. And if they are, one extra email is not going to bother them. And if it is, they will definitely let you know. And then you'll feel bad for a second, but then you move on.
So it's like there's some people out there, they're creative. They're really good creators, right?
Yeah.
Other people are very good businessmen, right?
Sure.
But it's like rarely are you good at both, right?
True.
How have you been able to combine being a good businessman and a good creator when most people fail at that?
That's where I have my freelance people help me. Because like the logistics and operations, I am so bad at it. I'm so bad at like keeping track of spreadsheets. I'm so bad at keeping track of data. I'm even bad at keeping track of our clients. Shout out Rena, who literally takes care of all my clients, because like I am really bad at keeping, like we'll get hired by them and like I will like forget where we're at. And I'm just like, I'm not a good project manager. Some people are. Rena rocks. Shout out Rena. Find people who can help you with that. Even if you don't need them full time, but they can help you for a couple hours a day. Great. Like that's enough to like keep you organized.
Do you have like a bucket customer out there you want to get?
I'd love to work more with Netflix. Okay. I think Netflix is such a good target audience for me. I love Netflix, even though like they keep charging me more money. But yeah, I mean, like more pop culture stuff. Like we've done a lot with like, again, we do really well with board games. We do really well with tech. I would love to work more with big studios. We've done it every now and again, but I would love to become like I would love to become like a go-to of like, when Sony's unveiling the next movie, they're like, okay, we got to call Alex for New York. Like that would be amazing. I'm not sure I'll ever be big enough because they probably need like a little more reputation than that. But like maybe every now and again we work with these clients and it's like, let's go.
So I think, once again, I'm making this up. I think a lot of creative types, like people like you, guitar players, pianists, artists, they have this like stereotype of like waking up at 3 afternoon, going to work at 5 afternoon to 3 a.m. Is that your life cycle? Like, are you like have more like a more business like 9 to 5 job?
A lot of my meetings are at 9, so then I have to. But I am sometimes awake at like 3 a.m. sending like emails that I do not send them out at 3 a.m. I schedule them for 8 a.m. so I look like a sane person. But especially recently, we've had a bunch of like uptick in clients, and it's been great. But it has like I've been traveling the last 2 weeks, and there have been tons of time where like I was literally in Orange County, I could see the ocean, and I'm sitting there at the desk like staring at the ocean, working because I needed to get these emails out. Someone emailed me. They're like, can we meet? I was like, how about tomorrow? I need to go to the beach. I'm literally going to die if I don't go to the beach right now.
How about this one, right? Like I think people call it zones of excellence or block time. Like, do you block like 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. do one certain thing?
I should, but I'm too ADHD. Like I literally like I try.
More all over the place.
I try to do my meetings in blocks. So like when I get a meeting, sometimes I will block out because I use Calendly. So I'll block out some of the other ones so they have to schedule right around that meeting, and that's like a nice way to do that.
Yeah.
So I that's the only thing I do is I try to schedule my meetings together. Okay. But like other than that, like the only thing I'll do again, as I mentioned, is like if I have a shooting day, I need to like block off like when I get back from this trip, Tuesday needs to be shooting day. So I've like blocked the entire day. But beyond that, it's mostly just like, what do I need to get done that day? Like, let's get it done.
How about this? Like, suppose you're working on a product, you're doing whatever, right? And you're getting kind of tired, right? Like,
sure.
Like you need to get some rest, but like how do you decide like when to push through, when to suck it up, so to speak? And we're like, you know what? Everyone thinks that I need to sit down right now.
I'm the wrong person to ask because I'll push through it. I shouldn't. Sometimes I'll get to like a point. I'm like, okay, look, I wanted to get X done. I'm not going to get X done, but I can get to Y. Like another hour and I can get to Y, and then in the morning I can do X. And you know what always happens? In the morning I do better work and I work faster, and I should have just like went to bed. But like I'm like, well, if I don't get it done, then it's gonna like haunt me, and I'll have more to do tomorrow. No, you should just go to bed. Like really, especially at that point.
Yeah, for me, like. I don't know the time, but if I wake up 4 a.m, I work from like 4 to 8. I just feel like I get so much done, right?
Yeah.
Like if I wake up at 9, I just feel like I've wasted 4 hours a day, right?
Sure.
I just feel so behind.
That's funny. That's it when I sleep or I like work till 3 and I wake up at 10. I'm just like, oh God, the day is gone.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And then but I think I do my best work from like 9 at night to midnight, right?
Sure.
What is it conducive to wake up 4 in the morning?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, this has been super fun.
Yeah, thanks. So you got anything else going on next few months people should know about?
No, check us out, NYCSocialClub.com. At Alex Shebar. Follow me. I'm at Featuring Alex on TikTok, at Alex Shebar, SHEBAR on Instagram. Nothing like in the play right now, but like lots of stuff brewing that I will be able to talk about soon enough.
So really backtrack. So your company, NYC Social Club, we talked about some. But can you give more detail, like how it got started, what you're focused on now, what your big dream vision is it for? Yeah,
we're just a really cool, scrappy marketing agency that thinks that we do really good content creator stuff. We make really good UGC videos. We are trying to stay human in an AI world. We really like working with big clients. We really like working with small clients. We work with a lot of startups, a lot of like restaurants, CPG brands, tech apps, supplements, anybody that like just wants to be making UGC ads. We're pretty good at doing it for cheaper than others and faster than others, and we tend to get better engagement, which is really cool. We've had a bunch of clients that have been with us for, over 2 years now making ads, and if nothing else shows consistency and success, that's going to be it.
Nice. And then, is there anything else I asked you I didn't, or anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, this has been super fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate this.
Dope.
And to our listeners, thank you for your time as well. Remember to be great every day.